Hey everybody, it's Mint, and today we are going to be talking about how I got my start in the furry fandom and how I ended up where I am now in a fursuit, talking to a camera with like 500 subscribers, which is crazy, by the way. Thank you. So, how did I find out about the furry fandom? Well, if you don't know, there is a kids coding website called Scratch, and apparently it has a huge furry user base. Like it's like 50% furries at least. And I discovered a furry group on there, and I decided to join it because I thought it sounded interesting. After I discovered what furries were, I went to my mom to tell her about my new hobby. She kind of freaked out for a little bit and told me that I couldn't be one, but I did it in secret, and I created a draft of a fursona. This was never my actual fursona, but I was drawing ideas, and this was the first one I drew. Her name was Geode, and she was a cat with like a really long tail. But I never used her in any way, or she was never my official sona. Later, I decided to stop being one because I was disobeying my mom, and I felt bad about it, and I was in like, what, 4th, 5th grade at the time. So I went to my mom and basically begged her to allow me to be a furry. And she said yes. So obviously I was pretty happy, and I created my next sona. Her name was Mint. This sona. This was my first official sona. So I've had the same sona the entire time I've been in the fandom. But this was her first design. So she was green with antenna, and she had yellow bands on her ears. And she still had the diamond here and the heart on her chest. But her color scheme was completely different. I used her for a while, and then I went to my mom and I told her I want to make a fursuit after like a few weeks of being in the fandom, and I knew nothing about making fursuits. So I had her buy me some foam and fake fur to make a tail, and I did. Except I used spray glue on it, and I did not shave the foam at all. So it's basically a rectangle tail. It's pretty terrible, but I was very proud of it at the time, and it was a tail. After we moved, the next thing I was aiming for was a head. So I asked for one for Christmas, and I got the head base. So my mom allowed me to get some fur and some other stuff, and I actually made the head. So you guys, this is Mint 1.0. She has no lining, she has no eyes, and she has nothing inside of her mouth. And the shaving job obviously is terrible, and she is hot glued. There's no sewing at all. So this was my first fursuit. Obviously, I was not happy with the result, and I kind of fell out of the furry fandom for a while after this. But I started getting back into it later on Scratch when I would make pretty terrible animation memes and post them there on my Scratch account. And that was a very popular thing to be doing, so I wasn't out of the ordinary, but it was still a really big experience for me, and I'm glad that I did it. Eventually, I got my first Dynamask. I had seen them on the internet, and my little brothers got one for Christmas, and I really wanted one. So I bought one with my own money, and I painted it. And then I painted it again, and again, and again. And then I finally painted it one more time, and this is the result. So this is my first Dynamask ever. Her name is Aquata. That's all I know about her. But I used to use her a lot in videos because I really wanted a fursuit, and she was the closest thing I had to one. So I got my first Dynamask. I was still on Scratch. I kept posting. And then I decided to leave Scratch, and I decided to create my YouTube channel. At first, all I posted was animations, because that's all I knew how to do. But eventually I started posting like real life videos with my Dynamask here. However, the first ones I posted were very bad. Please do not watch them. The editing is awful and the lighting is worse. It's just not, and it's so cringy. Please don't watch them. I cry every time I see them. Anyway, I started hitting milestones and making friends along the way. And I started growing really fast, and I was really excited about that. I ended up getting a second Dynamask, which I loved this Dynamask, and I was very proud of it. Then I was able to commission my first fursuit, which is this, and it finally came, and I felt like a full furry now. And then finally I got to go to my first convention, and now here I am, a furry with several fursuits and no will to live. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!